not in a Citizens United sort of way. But you want this kind of stuff to stop. Stop buying stuff from the people who make this and who run their businesses like this, and urge people in a non-annoying way, because you don't get any converts to the cause when you're yelling at people while you're holding a clipboard in a Whole Foods parking lot. Be calm about it. Explain to people, make a decent case for why they shouldn't be buying this, product X, why they shouldn't be shopping at store Y, and why they should be using their money more responsibly to make the world a better place. Maybe if everyone does that, maybe things will improve.
Well, because they're going to go and say that, well, who are you to tell me how to live my life, and I should be able to eat what I want, shop what I want, and blah, blah, blah. Even though they're being made an ass of, they don't care about being. That's like as we always say, that's like the guy in Mississippi who has no teeth in his head, who won't accept Obamacare. He's got diabetes and everything, and and he's voting Republican. Why? You're an idiot. But he still does
He's
it. Because,
programmed to do it.
Yeah.
Well I think
Go ahead.
Well, I think Carl's question, what was it again? Is why do
why don't companies act
pay
responsibly?
Why don't they pay more?
Why don't they act responsibly, I think, is the overall question.
Well, business in general are amoral. It's their job. They go into business to make money. And if you don't like what the business is doing, it's up to you as the consumer to as we said, but consumers are fucking lazy, and they want other people to compel the businesses and tell them what to do.
Because everything's been created to, why were computers and what was cell phones and they're made for? Convenience.
Yeah.
You've been selling the word convenience for so long. Is it been really convenient?
Well, I think that, and I agree with you guys on many of these things, but I do also believe that capitalism has created a better world. We have a much higher standard of living globally than at any point in history. And while wages have not increased as much as they should be, we also have much lower costs of things like food and essentials, and we can buy things like cell phones that connect us to people who, in almost superhuman ways. Even if you are making, everyone has a cell phone. You can talk to your mom for free at any point you want to from any location, and that's a benefit that would have cost millions of dollars, if not an infinite amount of money.
I don't have a problem with capital. I have a problem with that you've distracted me enough that I'm not gaining enough knowledge so I can think outside the box to do the things that I want, so capitalism can be fair. That's the problem with it. It's not fair to a lot of people.
But that's the thing, though. It's a personal choice. When I take the bus and I see 90% of the people on that bus staring into their phone, and I get into a seat and I pull my phone out and I'm staring at it, we're all staring at our phones, but it comes down to the personal choice. Do people want to read the news and read about the world around them and expand their mindset, or do you want to sit there and play Candy Crush? It's your call, right. But that's America. People can choose to be ignorant,
right?
And unfortunately, a lot of them do.
And that's why they cannot complain when they say, "Well, how come that's such and such, and why is this way?" Well, you had an opportunity, but you didn't give a shit because I've kept you so focused on all this materialistic crap that you think is going to make you better. You didn't focus on the inside. You focused more on your outer, and that's why you didn't see it coming. And so when you say, "Wow, I missed out," yes, you did.
Yeah, I think that's true. If technology was at some level going to make us happier, it would have a long time ago.
Right.
If consumerism was going to make us more full people, we wouldn't have the problems with depression and anger that we have today.
Right. Well,
I am going to say, too, that staring into your phone is much better than talking to some asshole on the bus. My God. Honest to fucking God. I made that mistake, and I was like, why the fuck didn't I bring my phone?
I think I said last week or the week before that I just want to take America back to a time, not too far back like the Republicans. I just want America to go back to a time when headphones in meant don't talk to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I want to make a larger point about businesses before we break up on the topic. Conservatives believe that the entrepreneur has made the investment. They took the risk with probably their own capital to build that business, and it's and if they lose everything, nobody feels sorry for them because they took the risk. So when they have an opportunity to make a profit, they deserve that profit because they gambled.
Right, but also wait a minute. But a lot of entrepreneurs also get federal money. Okay, you're getting. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who want. They say You take what's his name? Musk? Is that Musk?
Elon Musk.
How much federal money has Elon Musk got from
I
going
do
to
not know.
state from state? He doesn't, and he's not paying taxes. He's offering jobs. He brings in his ideas. They're putting it together. He's building a battery company over in Las Vegas, the one that California bid for and refused to give him the money for. But guess what? That's federal money. That money's going to come not only through the state, but they're going to get it, and he's not going to pay taxes for 20 years.
Well,
because he's bringing in business.
I mean, there's a difference between a tax incentive and getting money from the Fed. I mean, there's grants, but I don't believe that Musk has gotten grants. I could be wrong about that.
Well, he's gotten grants. Well, he's got his hands in a lot of things. He's got the space program that he's dealing with. I mean, he's offering a lot of great things. He's doing a lot, which I don't have a problem with.
And I think effectively you do have to
And he's
count
putting
tax
women to work.
incentives as free money to an extent, because it's money that's necessary to the accomplishment of the task that you're not spending. So it's not the government coming by with a big sack with a dollar sign on it and going here, but it effectively is giving the entrepreneurs free money.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that too often people look at tax incentives as, oh, they're just giving this for free, when the choice is also, well, give them that incentive and create jobs, or have the jobs just go overseas.
Right. Well, that's the thing is I think the government, when giving money, just needs to be more stringent on what is expected of you for taking that money. And I think that's a great place to start bringing ethics deeper into business.
Well, that's because you have if you look at
conditional.
you have more lobbyists in Washington now than you ever have. Sure. And these companies are they have their own lobbyists.
What's the company in Indiana? Is it Carrier, the air conditioner company that they got a bunch of money from the government and now they're moving their operations to Mexico?
Yeah.
That's the thing is if the government is going to give money to companies, they need to put rules into place saying that by taking this money, you are going to stay in America. You are going to create jobs in America. We are Thierrion, you were saying that the entrepreneur deserves the return on their investment. Well, so does the government.
Yeah.
And if the government is going to invest in companies, then those companies should be given back to America by keeping their businesses here, by creating jobs, by hiring people in America.
How much does it suck for the guy who snuck across the border to work at Carrier in Indiana and now has to go back to Mexico to keep his job? How much does that suck?
Wow.
Well,
on that note,
I think of those
switch
things.
Over, let's pivot to Apple. I think it's good to get something like Dave said. Do you want to set it up?
Well, if you've been paying any attention in the news this week, you've noticed that Apple is fighting against the Department of Justice. Basically, was it last December, the whack job, finger quote, terrorist attack in San Bernardino? These two people who said, ISIS, what a great idea, shot up a lunch party. And they had an iPhone 5C, so it's before the fingerprint ID technology.
Losers.
Well, it was bought for them by the city, so there you go. Screw you, San Bernardino. But the government can't get into the phone because of Apple's encryption, and now they are demanding that Apple write software specifically so they can get into the phone.
Not just that phone, though. They want it for all iPhones.
Well,
That's the problem.
no. They're saying they just want to use it this once, but that's that's the equivalent of come on, just the tip, or Charlie Brown. I swear I'm not going to pull the football away. We have learned our lesson from what the government did with the Patriot Act that they were never ever going to use against American citizens. Bottom line, as long as we don't find out, they're not doing it. Which is what we're seeing with Edward Snowden. Basically, the government is asking Apple to give them a tool that will allow them into any iPhone at any time, which, of course, the software is going to get out. So it's not just going to be the U.S. government that has it.
Right.
And the government is saying, I can't believe these motherfuckers don't trust us.
Well, no, nobody trusts you.
What have they that exactly? But specifically to this sort of case, and what we saw with the Patriot Act, what has the government done to give us a reason to trust that they will only use this technology for this phone or only when appropriate?
You can go back to Social Security numbers when they weren't going to be used for identification. I mean, people learned back then not to trust the government. So it's been for decades.
But they should have put a program together by now where the government could work with these particular companies. If we want to, why is Twitter? Why does a terrorist have a Twitter account? Why? I mean,
flash mob.
I mean, come on.
Have a flash mob.
I'm trying to understand that. Why didn't we shut that off? Why is it that you're able to? So do they have? So you're sitting back. You keep telling me on the TV, "Oh, ISIS." Okay, then I find out ISIS is on Twitter. How are they on computers?
Well, the thing is, I mean, they do shut down, I believe, terrorist accounts, but I mean, they just register new ones, and they constantly are in the cycle of just creating new accounts and getting followers really quickly, and using a hashtag or something like that.
But there got to be a way for some kind of way. I mean, for all this technology that we have, why can't we put something together to where you could work with the government to be able to, if we have this type of situation, that we would be able to get this guy and find out what kind of information he has. That's all I'm saying.
You'd have to pay those engineers as much as Apple pays them, I think.
Well, so I am actually a software engineer,
okay.
And I've worked with Apple products for a while. And basically, here's the rub. Apple has done this before on previous iPhones, a fair amount of times. Their newer iPhones have different encryption. Some of the iPhone versions, the FBI can just crack because they have vulnerabilities. What the FBI wants to do is give the phone to Apple. Apple creates a unique firmware image for that specific iPhone, pulls the information off, gives the FBI the information. Apple's argument, and some people are saying they're just grandstanding here because they've done this in the past, but now they think it's bad PR. But their argument is, and this is true, anytime you create the potential to get the information off of an encrypted iPhone, there's the very likely possibility that hackers, maybe they're Russia, maybe they're Chinese, maybe they're freelance, are going to find a way to spoof that and get and circumvent the iPhone security. So
you're a $1 trillion company. You are a computer company. We buy your crap. Help our country. I mean, you made money off of us.
But here's the thing, and just going off of exactly what Toby was just saying, basically the government is asking Apple to doom their company. And the government is always pro-business. But this is a case of Apple saying that, A, we want to protect our proprietary security system, but also the fact is that one of the main selling points of our products is the advanced security features. And basically the government is saying, we want you to make your company less competitive.
Aren't these the same people who have all my private information right now? That I did not give to them? Did you
not give it to them?
Did Google sit up and track everywhere I go?
Apple is not Google.
Well, I know, but Google's backing Apple. Google is backing Apple, and other companies are backing them. Come on, you're asking to help. Figure out something. With all this technology, I'm not saying, I mean, you should be able to figure out something to where you're not giving up something just to figure out how to bust this to stop if this is what it is, that whole ISIS thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's...
Give it to Anonymous. They'll hack it.
Well, John McAfee, he offered to hack it.
Well, was it McAfee that said part of the problem is that you've got the Russians and the Chinese who are hiring these, drug-addled punk rockers with mohawks and big-ass, 10-gauge ear piercings. Yeah. All these people that that know how to hack, that know what they're doing, that there is no way in hell the U.S. government will ever hire them because they have mohawks and ear gauges and they smoke weed. Yeah. And the bottom line is the government needs to get competitive if that's the field they're getting into.
Well, I mean, the government, there are hackers who don't do that.
Right. No, I'm not saying that's all hackers, but
there's a culture there of, a lot of hackers don't want to work for the U.S. government. I think that, it's just worth noting that it's not just Apple's corporate interest. It's collectively people's interest in having a right to privacy. And personally, I think, I don't care as much about privacy as other people do. I will also say, having worked at a big tech corporation, people say they want privacy, but they will not pay a nickel extra for it. So I don't care as much as some people. I do think that when you introduce vulnerabilities into software, it does create the potential for, a malicious attack. I'm worried about cyber warfare happening in the next 20, 30 years on a massive scale. So that is